Hi everybody, my name is Anthony Doerr. I'm the author most recently of a book called All the Light We Cannot See. This is the German version published by my amazing German publisher C.H. Beck Verlag. In the 7 years since publishing All the Light, I've written a new book. It's called Wolkenkuckucksland, and it comes out in Germany this fall. I have a little show and tell for you to try to give you a quick sense of what the new book is about, so here we go. This novel took me 10 years to write. And one of the primary settings of the novel is Saint-Malo. You can see it on the cover of the German edition. Saint-Malo is a walled medieval town in Brittany in France and became a tiny part of Hitler's vast Atlantic Wall, this series of fortifications thousands of kilometers long that he was trying to build to prevent an invasion from the Atlantic. Everything I would read about the history of boundary walls and the history of human walls would mention Constantinople. So I printed a drawing out. There was something about this drawing that really captured me, this idea of these walls that stood around the city of Constantinople for 1,000 years. The land walls stood unbreached. They withstood 23 sieges, and I didn't quite know what my story would be, yet then I just knew as soon as I finished All the Light, I wanted to read more about Constantinople. The city of Constantinople, which of course we now know as Istanbul, has an incredible geographic location, the crossroads of Europe and Asia, and really the nexus of so much trade. The city was able, within these extraordinary walls, to accumulate astonishing wealth. The Church of St. Sophia alone had 4 acres of gold vaulting in its mosaics in the ceiling. There was so much gold and silver that reportedly visitors would say there was a gold or silver fronted church for every day of the year. Indeed, of the many amazing things preserved inside the walls of Constantinople, these monstrous Theodosian walls, were books. Inside monastic libraries, imperial libraries, even private libraries, large collections of books were able to be preserved as they were decaying everywhere else. Some people think at certain times the Imperial Library of Constantinople had over 120,000 volumes, and about 75% of the Greek and Roman classics that have survived to this day survived because of Byzantine copies. If this book was about radio and this new technology coming into the 20th century, a technology that could travel through walls and disrupt existing power structures, Wolkenkuckucksland is really a novel about a new technology arriving also. And that technology was gunpowder. When gunpowder comes into Europe in the 14th and 15th centuries, walls that seemed supernaturally powerful, the preeminent defensive technologies of the world built around all these walled cities, began to fall. So the original genesis of the novel started with 2 characters, Omer and Anna. One is outside the city walls, helping drag this monstrous mega cannon inside the Ottoman army to start shooting cannonballs at the great walls of Constantinople. And one is a girl, Anna. She's inside the city during the siege, and she has found a book that she cares very much about, a book called Wolkenkuckucksland, and decides to see if she can save it as the city falls. But about a year into the project, I hit a dead end. I feel like I'm getting closer to 50 years old, I'm middle-aged, and I'm interested in everything getting erased. Almost everything in human culture will eventually be erased, but some things last. And why? Some stories persist through time. And for me, it's because of stewards. It's because of librarians and publishers and readers, people falling in love with certain stories and keeping them alive through the generations. So I decided to try to tell a story of the book that Anna saves and see if I could carry it through time, see if I could bring it into the present and then even into the future. It was a big gamble because now I had to introduce more characters. So I introduced 2 more characters in the present, an old Greek translator named Zeno and a very sensitive young boy named Seymour. They're living in the present. They're dealing with new conflicts of technology, with the information age, with climate change. And then I introduced a 5th character. Her name's Constance, and she's in the future. She's really the reader of the text. She's the reason this text has to survive. The novel is dedicated to librarians, then, now, and in the years to come. Each of the characters has an intense relationship at a certain point in his or her life with a librarian and with a library. And I feel like really the novel is a kind of love letter to libraries. Libraries are sacred gateways in which people can find portals into other worlds and other lives and other times. And they were really important to me growing up. And I hope that this book proves to be kind of an homage to them. It's also an homage to our interconnectedness, to other species, to our ancestors, and to the children who have yet to be born. I hope that literature and all art really is a way to conjure our interconnectedness. Ironically, even though you're reading a book alone, you're practicing compassion. You're practicing dreaming yourself out of the walls of your own skull and into the skulls of other people, into the minds and lives of other human beings. I hope that makes you feel less alone. I certainly know it does me. And I hope that this novel becomes a kind of quiet symphony to that interconnectedness that we're all going to need in the years to come. Thank you so much for being readers. I hope soon I can get back to Germany, but for now, I hope you all have a very wonderful and safe fall and keep reading books.